Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians. A bill for the Nat'l establish Nigeria Maritime University, Okerenkoko, Delta State, and for Related Matters 2023, third reading, taken and passed.
Senate passes bill to establish Nigeria Maritime University.
We don't want to know what happened in the past. And we don't want to know what the past ministers thought, but what is worth doing is worth doing well.
And Senate lends support to the plan to upgrade Eastern Rail Line to standard gauge rail. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Inside the Senate, a program that brings to your screen activities of the Red Chamber of the National Assembly and its members. I am Aisha Mohammed Ahmed, your anchor. Last week during plenary, the Senate passed a bill to establish the Nigeria Maritime University, Okerenkoko, Delta State. Also, the Senate, in a motion, has moved to upgrade the Eastern Rail Line traversing Port Harcourt-Enugu-Maiduguri from narrow gauge rail to standard gauge rail, a project that has been abandoned for some time now. Report of these and more coming your way shortly. Don't go away.
Promote the unity, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria.
The Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2023.
And this act should be supported by all.
There are issues that we must use this opportunity to critically address.
We accord this motion the urgency and the necessity it requires.
I rise the second motion.
The ayes have it.
Thanks for staying tuned. On Wednesday, 15th of November 2023, Senator-elect Augustine Akombudu of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) from Abia Central Senatorial District was sworn in as a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by the Clerk of the Senate.
Preserve.
And that I will preserve,
Protect. And defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
He replaces Senator Darlington Nwokocha of the Labour Party LP, whose victory was nullified by the Court of Appeal. President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, welcomed the newly sworn-in senator on the floor of the Red Chamber.
And we wish him well in the Red Chambers of the Senate.
Also in the week under review, the Senate received a number of petitions from some senators, amongst who were Senator Ned Nwoko Munir from Delta North and Senator Ede Dafinone from Delta Central, respectively, on behalf of their constituents. The petitions were referred to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions for further legislative action. For bills taken at first reading last week, some of them include Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Bamidele Michael Opeyemi. Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA Act Amendment Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Dankwambo Ibrahim Hassan. Federal Data Bank Establishment Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Jimo Ibrahim Folorunshaw. Let's take a break here to open the Senate notebook. Keep watching.
The rules guiding membership of Senate committees provide that each special and standing committee shall comprise of not less than 5 members and more than 10 members, including the chairman and vice chairman. The rules also provide that no senator shall serve as a member of more than 3 committees, while committee chairmen shall not serve as members of more than 2 other committees. The rules, however, do not cover the selection committee, of which none of its members is allowed to be a committee chairman, but can serve as a member of other committees as provided for by the rules.
The program is Inside the Senate. Quite a number of bills were debated at their second readings by the Senate last week. As a matter of fact, The bill to establish the Nigeria Maritime University, Okerenkoko, Delta State, was not only considered for second reading, it also went through the third reading and was eventually passed by the Senate. This is because of its history in the National Assembly. For details of this bill and others considered by the Senate, let's take our next report presented from our studio.
It's important to note that this bill being represented today,
the bill seeking to establish the Nigeria Maritime University, Okerenkoko, Delta State, and for related matters 2023, was sponsored by Senator Joel Onoakpo Thomas. The senator, while leading the debate, noted that the bill was passed by both chambers of the National Assembly towards the end of the 9th Assembly, but unfortunately did not get assented to by the President before the terminal date of the last administration.
the bill is a bold step towards not only addressing the educational backwardness of the people of the difficult Niger Delta terrain, but also for joining the leagues of countries like the United States of America, South Korea, India, China, Britain, Panama, Canada, Netherlands, Brazil, Argentina, and Ghana as countries with such universities as platform for the training of top-class manpower for the maritime industry.
In his support for the bill, Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin suggested the express passage of the bill for third reading having been passed by the 9th Assembly.
This institution is not new. It has been established, fully operational. What is needed here at this stage is to have a law setting it up as usual. And it was even passed in the 9th Senate, but it wasn't assented to by Mr. President. So I don't think there's any debate. It's not something new. We have done this. We've done this process here before. So I think we should just go straight to the next stage of the processing of the bill. We don't need to debate it because we have done it before and the school is purely operational. I say so, Mr. President.
With that, the bill was referred to the Committee of the Whole to be considered on the next legislative day. Next day, Thursday the 16th of November 2023, the Senate considered the bill clause by clause in the Committee of the Whole, after which it was read a third time and passed.
Aviation technology
Another bill considered for second reading is a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Aviation Technology, Ilara Remo, Ogun State, and for related matters 2023. Sponsored by Senator Benga Daniel. Leading the debate, Senator Benga Daniel noted that the bill essentially aims to upgrade an existing Federal Technical College to a full-fledged Federal College of Aviation Technology in order to provide full-time courses in various areas of specialization in the aviation industry and to make provision for the general administration of the college and for related matters.
Aircraft design and construction over the years have evolved significantly. A lot of advancements in materials, such as lightweight composites and alloys, have allowed for the development of stronger, more fuel-efficient aircraft. Computer-aided design (CAD) and simulation tools have revolutionized the design process, enabling our engineers to model and analyze aircraft performance, aerodynamics, and structural integrity more accurately.
Some lawmakers supported the bill.
In the whole of Nigeria, there is only one aviation technology school located in Zaria. And given the size of the country and also the volume of air travel that our economy requires, one single aviation school might not be able to serve the aviation requirements of this country.
In building capacity across the various sectors beyond, of course, trade, industry, communication, like distinguished senator said, we need to begin to think deeply about growing capacity and skills in technology-driven areas. And of course, without a doubt, considering the fact that this administration is serious about establishing and reviving the Ajaokuta Steel Company, in no doubt, we'll be speaking not about assembling planes, but also developing the spare parts right in Nigeria.
After the debates, the Senate voted for the bill to be read a second time, after which it was referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund to report back to the Senate in 4 weeks.
Mining in Nigeria commercially started.
Still for second reading was another bill sponsored by Senator Dickett, south of Plank. It is titled, A Bill for an Act to Repeal the Nigerian Institute of Mining and Geosciences Act 2018 and establish the Federal University of Mining and Geosciences, JOS, and for related matters. Leading the debate, Senator Dickett Plank highlighted the importance of the bill.
The importance of the extractive and mining industry in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. This is more so when the country is looking for diversity in the economy that has been predominantly relying on crude oil. Mining in Nigeria commercially started as far back as the 18th century, culminating into the rural colonial rule, with the colonial masters cashing in on the abundance of mineral resources in Nigeria, one of which is the tin ore in Jos Plateau.
According to Senator Plank, the establishment of a mining university will deepen research on mineral exploration, exploitation, and skilled knowledge of many facets of mining resources management, including geosciences and engineering, to Nigerian citizens. The bill enjoyed the support of lawmakers.
The solid minerals subsector is a failure in Nigeria. It contributes so far less than 0.7% to our GDP. And this really does not help us as a nation to improve on the diversification that is necessary, that we must have to do to run away from being oil and gas economy only. I think, and in fact I'm convinced, that the vehemence with which we are fighting oil theft in Nigeria should also be the vehemence with which we should fight against what happens in our solid mineral subsector.
We have a lot of mineral resources, as said, but to get the full benefit of it, I think the Senate needs this kind of a bill. And apart from passing the bill, we still need a lot of consultation and retreat to equally have a compendium of all the mineral deposits in various parts of the state. We should have a compendium of it. Then we should get sufficient data and the necessary information that we put in legislation to make sure that all hands are on deck.
After the debates, the Senate voted for the bill to be read a second time, after which it was referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund to report back to the Senate in 4 weeks. Moving on to motions, the Senate considered a motion on the urgent need to upgrade the Eastern Rail Line traversing Port Harcourt, Enugu and Maiduguri from narrow gauge rail to standard gauge rail. It was sponsored by Senator Victor Ume and 34 other senators.
The Senate notes that the Eastern Rail Line, which serves 4 geopolitical zones of South-South, Southeast, North-Central, and Northeast, runs from Port Harcourt through Enugu, Makurdi, Jos, Bauchi, and Maiduguri. It is the longest and one of the oldest rail lines in Nigeria. The Senate also knows that a functional railway system in Nigeria will help to reduce vehicular traffic on our roads and save them from constant dilapidation.
The lawmaker noted that in April 2022, the federal government awarded a failed contract sum of $3.2 billion for rehabilitation and reconstruction of a narrow gauge rail line instead of standard rail line from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, which has been vandalized, abandoned, and overgrown with weeds and trees. He added that the Chinese contractors partnering with the federal government on the project to provide 85% of the expected funding program abandon the project without injecting any funds. Prayers for the motion were for the Senate to call on the federal government to upgrade the Eastern Rail Line traversing Port Harcourt-Maiduguri from narrow gauge rail to standard gauge rail. Call on the federal government to suspend the purported planned rehabilitation of the outdated narrow gauge rail from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. Call on the federal government to instead make arrangements for the proper funding of the construction of standard gauge rail in the Eastern Rail Line and acquisition of modern coaches, and urge the Committee on Land Transport to ensure that all the 4 geopolitical zones within the Eastern Rail Line corridor benefit from the ongoing railway standardization and modernization program of the federal government. There were contributions to the motion.
This has been here since the 8th Senate. And one of the biggest problems that we have is that no transport minister has been able to give a reason why in modernization of rail lines built by the colonial masters in Nigeria, only the Eastern Rail Line has been ignored and sentenced to oblivion like we have. And when I confronted the former minister, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, on why, he couldn't answer. All he said was, well, we are modernizing by just putting new rails. And I said, if it's a narrow gauge, how do you modernize a narrow gauge by bringing another narrow gauge?
No country, Mr. Chairman, construct the narrow gauge in the entire world. So it is the standard gauge that's in place. Even the standard gauge is getting moribund because there are other superior gauges that are coming into being. The speed gauge, sir. This particular gauge on the narrow gauge will afford you to travel from Port Harcourt to Gombe to Maiduguri for 48 to 47 hours. On the standard gauge, it will reduce to almost 12 to 13 hours. On the speed gauge, it will only take 2 hours. Therefore, one of the problems associated with us as a country is that this particular line is the longest and almost the oldest, but it seems there is no political will.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio also lent his voice to the motion.
That it was a thing of delight to enter from Port Harcourt. Sometimes it would stop at Aba, we would join at Aba, and from there we knew all the villages and roads and all that. It was they had express also. Express, huh? Yes, you had local and express, but even the express used to stop at Aba to pick passengers who were going to Kafanchan. From Kafanchan going all the way down to Maiduguri. It was a beautiful thing. But now that rails have been modernized, we don't want to know what happened in the past. And we don't want to know what the past ministers thought. But what is worth doing is worth doing well.
The motion was voted on and adopted.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Moving over to other National Assembly matters, on Tuesday, the 14th of November 2023, the National Assembly donated 8 coastal buses to the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN, to alleviate the impact of petrol subsidy removal on its members. Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin expressed that this act of support by the National Assembly demonstrates the commitment of the 10th Senate to the welfare of the staff.
The President and Chairman, the President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly, did not waste a minute in approving that request. We were all in that meeting. It was when the idea of getting vehicles for the operation of the membership of the National Assembly in conducting the oversight functions was in discourse. He said, look, when senators and House of Rep members have utility vehicles to go out there to prevent their function, and their staff don't have enough, to take care of their welfare and their productivity. Then there is a gap, very big gap.
The Deputy Senate President also commended the Clerk of the National Assembly, Magaji Tambawal, for facilitating the provision of the buses.
Those were highlights of activities from the Red Chamber of the National Assembly in the last week. Up next on the program is our profile segment. Please continue watching as we introduce our featured Senator of the Week.
Senator Mohammed Ogoshi Onawo is the current senator representing Nasarawa South Senatorial District in Nasarawa State. He was born in Doma village of Nasarawa State on June 15, 1952. He attended LEA Primary School, now Central Primary School, Doma, in 1962 at the age of 10. His post-primary education was at the Government Secondary School, Lafia, from 1969 to 1973. Senator Onawo opted for the teaching profession by registering for a pivotal program of the Government Teachers College, GTC Jos, capping the effort in 1975 with a Teachers Grade 2 certificate. He also attended Advanced Teachers College, ATC Akwanga, Nasarawa State, between 1977 and 1980. Thereafter, he proceeded to the Ramat Polytechnic, Maiduguri, where he studied and obtained a higher national diploma HND in business administration in 1995. Senator Onawo returned to the Nasarawa State University, Kefi, where he bagged a postgraduate diploma PGD in management in 2008. He participated in the mandatory NYSC and served in Lassa, Borno State. He holds a master's degree certificate from the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna. He is currently a PhD student at the Academy. Senator Onawo started his public service career at the Lafia West Primary School and later Baptist Primary School, Mangu, Plateau State, from 1975 to 1977. In 1982, he joined Hilltop Bottling Company Limited, Jos, as a sales supervisor. In 1990, he joined the Standard Breweries Limited, Ibadan, as a sales officer. Thereafter, he moved to Jos International Breweries Limited, Jos, in 1991 as a sales officer and later became a district sales manager from 1994 to 1996. He joined the services of Pioneer Milling Company Limited, Jos, as a commercial manager between 1996 and 2002. In 2003, he was elected member representing the good people of Doma North constituency at the Nasarawa State House of Assembly. He was later elected as the Speaker of the 2nd Nasarawa State House of Assembly in June 6, 2003. Largely because of his performance and integrity, he was elected overwhelmingly for the second term in 2007 to the Nasarawa State House of Assembly representing Doma North constituency. During his second term, he was the Chairman House Committee on Urban Development alongside member of so many standing House committees. He was also a two-term member of Nigeria's House of Representatives between 2011 and 2019 and chaired House Committees on Industry as well as Information Technology, respectively.
With that, we end this week's edition of Inside the Senate. Always remember to communicate your questions and opinions via any of our feedback channels. Until I come your way again next week, stay safe.